How do you surmise what we've just been hearing?
Well, there's the legal perspectives, but there's also the realities on the ground, particularly as it relates to the Kenyan case. I think African Union had a tedious relationship with ICC for some time.
Mm-hmm. Well, it seems to have really become pronounced after the indictment of Bashir, really, in 2008.
Bashir, and then the Kenyan case.
And then the Kenyan case really
escalated everything. Mm-hmm. But I think the issue, first of all, I think it's very important to stress that Africans must not condone impunity. So that's one very important thing.
Which the AU too is saying is not at a cost of impunity.
So there has to be a way of closure. There has to be a way of dealing with these issues. Now, the issue about the fact that we see only Africans at ICC should not be dismissed casually. Because in Africa, there are a lot of crimes that have been conducted in Africa, but it's not only in Africa that's happening.
It's all over the world.
It's all over the world. So ICC should not try to cover up that it's Africans who have brought themselves there or anything like that. That will not wash.
Now, what is your understanding, though, of that? Because clearly that's what has been happening. There are 102 members of this body, yet it seems as though, even though Africa makes such a big block of that membership, 8 of those cases are in Africa. And it does raise the natural question, why? Especially when I think I was asking Mr. Mochochoko earlier, when you see Syria happening, it doesn't seem like the UN has pursued any...
Yeah, because, I mean, there are some untruths about ICC. One, that it is a neutral body. I mean, it's not neutral. It is politically, it can be manipulated.
And based on what exactly?
Well, the powers.
The powers, the funders,
the
donors.
The funders. I think we had talks at my institution, and very senior officials, former government officials of the United States, is that ICC is a manipulated institution, and it does serve the interests of the West. I think that's very important to keep in mind. The other issue is that if ICC, we need some general, we need some level playing ground. If crimes were committed in Cambodia, if they are committed in Syria, they should be treated the same way. That is not happening, and it's not going to happen. So in this case, the African Union has a point.
Now you've got a new prosecutor who's from Gambia.
Yeah.
Why are you so sure that it's not going to happen?
First of all, the case that brought all this, heightened this, is the Kenyan case. And the Kenyan case is Bangod. And when Ocampo came to Kenya, he said that he really wanted to use this case to set an example. It was not really to seek justice. It was not really to really help the victims. He really wanted to victimize some people. He didn't care whether he had evidence. That's why they are looking for evidence at this point. They are saying that, oh, the Kenyan government is not cooperating, we don't have evidence, we need more evidence. How could you indict people before you had evidence?
But initially, Kenya did say it could not handle that case and did refer
they
to
failed.
the ICC.
I mean, Kenya failed actually to set up the necessary institutions, the necessary court. But the process in Kenya, what's making the AU very angry, it has been a political case. I think anyone who studies the Kenyan case will know that the real reason that the Kenyan cases, the people are selected very selectively from, I don't know how many people were involved, to these few people. It was basically to remove them from political contention. And that is what angered Kenyans, and that was what has angered Africans, that they see ICC playing politics. The moment ICC stops being a judicial institution and playing politics, then it's a useless body.